I honestly had no idea how to start this video, but I'm gonna try to say what I have to say within the first few minutes, then we can just, move on and get to talking about happy things. I feel like anybody with a pulse, wow, this lag sucks. I feel like anybody with a pulse has been able to tell that something has been different with me in the content for the last couple of months. I've been disguising it, I've opened up a couple of times and been like, yeah, there's some stuff going on, but it's not a big deal. I promise I'm doing alright. But the truth is, I have not been doing alright. Ever since March, April, somewhere around there. There's just been a lot going on with me behind the scenes, and I don't necessarily want to talk about it in this video, and also let me just say, I'm not looking for sympathy from anybody. I don't give a shit about any of that. If I wanted sympathy, I'd come on here crying and, just begging for your support and everything, but no, I don't give a fuck about any of that, dude. I'm just a dude that just wants to play video games and not suffer through life. I just want to play video games and enjoy my short time here on this earth. That being said, as much as I try to lie myself and tell myself that I'm not this, I am still a human being. I still feel shit as much as I don't want to feel shit because it's just part of my human DNA, and I hate it as much as anybody else. This lag has pissed me off, dude. I can't get a single kill. While the content quantity has remained the same, and in some cases has been more, I feel like in certain places, I don't even necessarily want to say the quality's been lower. I'm just making different kinds of content, but I also just feel like it's been pretty clear that there's just been not necessarily a lack of drive from my end, but just a bit of detachment from my end, a bit of going through the motions, and that's really how life has been for me for the last couple months. Connection interrupted. Why the hell is this happening today? We're playing zombies. All that being said, I have spent the last week starting to finally reinvest some energy into myself, to focus on my physical health, to focus on my mental health and all this, and
What's happening?
I haven't been doing the best job at that. I still barely slept last night, so I still feel like shit. I'm not even gonna lie, I kind of feel terrible right now. It just makes me kind of sad, because YouTube's always been, like, my main thing, my main driving factor, the thing that truly makes me happy, even when the rest of life is fucking me over, but, it is what it is, like, I've still been having fun making content, I'm still, doing my thing, still having a good time, but again, it's just, I feel like there's been a bit of a detachment from my end, to say the very least, just for the last few months, and the thing is, too, nobody actually knows what's going on, I don't talk about what's going on with me, I don't do that, so, not even, like, the very little family or friends or whatever even know what's going on. It's just, it is what it is. I'm the type of guy where I don't really talk about what's going on with me because I feel like it's such a waste of time. Like, for a lot of people, like, I'm not saying you shouldn't talk about what's going on with you, like, you should, you always should, but for me personally, me specifically, it just doesn't help for me. I'd rather just listen to loud music and play video games. Talking about it just gets me more pissed off because then I'm just thinking about it more, and then I'm wasting other people's time. Nobody wants to sit there listening to my fucking problems, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a waste of time on both ends, so I'd rather just do my thing. But, that's not to discourage anybody else from talking about their problems. If you have somebody you can confide in and can trust, most definitely do that, but if you're anything like me, then, it is what it is. You find your ways to cope. And again, this is not me looking for sympathy or anything like that. Like, I do not give a singular flying shit about that. I'm just trying to be transparent and honest as to why, like, hey, for the last 4 or 5 months, I know the content's been, like, the content's probably been fine from most people's perspective, but, like, anybody with a pulse can feel the detachment. And I just wanted everybody to know that that is not due to my relationship with YouTube or, like, how I'm feeling about content at the moment. There's no plans for me to quit, literally ever. It's literally just been me dealing with stupid human shit, and that's just how it goes. So what does that mean going forward? Well, going forward, I want to get back to our roots. I want to start having genuine fun again. I know the content's always been fun. I always have fun making the content. I enjoy making it, but I mean, like, I want to get back to my roots of just, why do I keep throwing grenades? I keep pressing it by accident. But I want to get back to my roots of just living my life and, just that's it. I wake up, I make my content, we play a shitload of video games, and that's it, man. We're having a good time, we're doing live streams, we're friggin' cranking out a bunch of TikToks, doing fun stuff, living our lives, making crazy different kinds of content, maybe doing some more collaborations like we did recently with Double T Game Hustle. We did that PS2 video, like, stuff like that, just really getting back to our roots here, and by getting back to our roots again, I just mean having fun and living life the way it was meant to be lived, and that is by actually living it and not just surviving through it, because surviving is not living. Dude, I love the PDW. This gun is so cool. I will say, it's been pretty cool, though, because even through everything, I found my ways to cope, and I've reignited some passions that I had previously, right? Like, oh, cool, I just went down. But, like, making music, obviously, that's something I used to do back in the day, and I just, haven't done it in many years, but I started doing that again recently, and now I have this album coming out on my birthday, October 26th. There's just been, like, a lot of cool stuff like that, so, that's cool. I think for me, I finally just hit a boiling point, too, of, like, okay, I can sit here and just barely get through every day. I've done this my entire life. I can continue to do it, or I could choose the path of not even least resistance, but the path that's actually happier and just go back to my roots and just, enjoy life a little more. And, yeah, that seemed like not necessarily even just the easier path or the path of least resistance, but it's just the path of, like, hey, That's just how I want to do shit. I miss how it was, man. That stretch from like 2022, 2021, 2022, 2022 especially, up to like the beginning of this year, bro. That was like such a time to be alive for me, for this channel, man. We were on fire. We're still on fire. This community's still on fire. If anything, it's only growing bigger by the day, but I just want to put the humanity back into it from you know, my end of things. And the way I see, you know, I know I've made a lot of videos like this in the past where I'm talking like, oh man, shit's going on, guys. I'm not doing too good. It's like, you know, again, I never make these videos for sympathy. I make it to be transparent, to be honest, because, you know, we're all human beings, and at the end of the day, there's only so long I can fake a smile before it's like, all right, the cracks are starting to show. And, yeah, you know, and it's one of those things where anybody with the slightest bit of perceptive ability, you know, perceptive ability, whatever, if you want to use the one word of the two words, you know what I'm trying to say, would be able to pick up on that anyway, because it's, you know, sometimes it's kind of hard to hide everything behind a smile. You can hide a lot of stuff behind a smile, but, you know, eyes tell a different story. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I've been looking in the mirror lately, and I've noticed some gnarly bags growing under my eyes, and a whole lot of aging happening up there, bro, so I think I just gotta take it easy and, you know, get back to my roots, like I said. The way I see it, I'm here for a good time, not a long time, you know what I mean? I've also been a little quiet in my own comment section lately, so going forward, I would like to get back to doing what I used to do, where I reply to every comment, heart every comment. I've been doing that for the most part, but I still feel like I've been a little bit quieter than I like in a lot of comment sections, so, you know, if there's anything that anybody would like to say, you know, particularly in the comments of this video, or anything they'd like to ask, or anything they'd like to talk about, hit me up down there. I'll be active as ever in this comment section and every comment section going forward. And finally, I do want to say that if anybody has felt a shift in me or the content or anything over the past couple months and has kind of been like pushed away by that, or just kind of been, I don't know, you know, just felt some kind of way about it, I do genuinely just want to apologize and say that, you know, it's never my intention to let the quality of the content suffer in any way just because my own life's endeavors, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things that happen to be a byproduct of that. Again, I don't think the content necessarily suffered too much. In some ways, it was actually kind of helpful because then we expanded our content, started making different kinds of content, went back to, you know, doing cool, like, series and stuff like that, just more chill, laid-back stuff, but still. It's been a bit different, and I truly do apologize if I've let anybody down in any sort of way. Ooh, Ray Gun Mark II. Or if any of this has been a bit more obvious than maybe I thought it was, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think I'll shut up now, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video where, as I've said many times at this point, we're going back to our roots, we're having a damn good time, we're living our lives, and that's just that. But anyway, as always, a massive shout out, thank you to all the patrons and channel members, thank you to all you in the low baller tier, and an even bigger shout out, thank you to all you in the big baller tier, Metal Last King and Big Daddy Matty, and the biggest shout out, thank you to all in G tier, Ryan Evans, I'm Luchi Scroll, thank you guys so much, you guys are literal legends, I love you. Gorani Itadoki, Arigatou gozaimasu, have an amazing day, stay beautiful, I love you all, and when I say I love you all, I genuinely mean that. If it wasn't for you guys, there wouldn't be a me. You know what I mean? You know, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here making this content. If it wasn't for you guys, I don't know, I'd probably be pretty fucking directionless in life, if I'm gonna be honest. So, yeah, you know, I appreciate the hell out of all of you always, and I'm really, really thankful beyond what any of you could ever understand for your continued love and support of me, even when I'm going through shit, even when I'm going through shit that spans for a couple of months, even when content's kind of all over the place, and you know, like I said, I keep up the consistency, right? I've still never missed a day, never will. But you know, even despite that, there's still, I guess, the hills, peaks and valleys in between, as they say. But it is what it is. We're human at the end of the day, and all we can do is try to keep our shit together and try to do better tomorrow. So with that, that's that. I love you all more than you'll ever know, understand, or be able to comprehend. Peace.